Don Knapp with the surrender story that you've probably not heard.
A state agency working to clear the delta of derelict boats nearly wiped out a piece of World War II history. U.S. Coast Guard cutter 83525 lay decaying and forgotten on the shores of a sloop called Fisherman's Cut. The only Coast Guard vessel ever to accept a surrender. It came 2 days after the war with Japan was supposedly over. Even the Coast Guard didn't know where she was. Gianni LaRosa and family bought the cutter in 1979 and lived aboard it for 10 years. When they learned Cal Recycle was clearing the delta of abandoned boats, they tried to find the old boat and save it from destruction.
So I went on Google Earth, found Fisherman Cut, found a photograph that said sunken boat, and looked at it, and there she was.
The LaRosa family had gathered documents and pictures of the boat's history.
It's the unconditional surrender of the Japanese-held island.
Among the files is what LaRosa says is a copy of the signed surrender in English and Japanese, along with pictures of Japanese Army officers on board. The surrender came 2 days after Japan formally surrendered on board the battleship Missouri. But LaRosa says it took time to convince the Japanese troops on Aguijan Island in the Marianas that the war was over. Now, more than a half-century later, the old boat is beyond restoration.
It's very, very sad. It's very sad to see it in its condition, but I'm just happy as a lark that it's going to the Coast Guard station in Rio Vista, and we saved it from just falling off the deep end.
Cal Recycle's Todd Tallhammer worked with LaRosa to recover the bow, propeller, and other components. Contractor Jericho will donate services to preserve them. Among the challenges, battling the insects that took up residence in the old boat.
We actually had a small release of oil, hydraulic oil as well, but again, we have our countermeasures in place. I think the P so far have been the toughest challenge.
The 83525 will never sail again, but her place in history has finally been saved. In Oakley, Don Knapp, CBS 5.